Welcome to Win Over Depression. This podcast is dedicated to shedding light on mental illness through education and real-life examples. I am your host, Tamara Trotter, and I have suffered from chronic depression for most of my adult life. However, mental illness does not define me nor anyone who suffers with an oftentimes debilitating condition. I have learned how to live with chronic depression and thrive anyway. This year, 2020, suicide will become the number one cause of death in the world. I want to stop the stigmas associated with mental illness and educate everyone on the importance of emotional health and conducting a mental health assessment of children on a regular basis because suicide has increased among children between the ages of 8 to 14. We must take a mental health assessment of our children at least once per week. Today, I wanted to talk to you about how you need to start your day in order to stay in the moment, be present, and also ward off any negativity that may come your way. When you suffer with the mental illness, it is extremely important that you are aware of what your day may look like and that you actually start preparing your day when you wake up in the morning. So this means that you want to make sure that you are not struggling to figure out what you're going to wear. You have your lunch packed up the night before and you know exactly what your day may look like, whether you're going to be in meetings, if you have to leave your office, you need to set up your day. And if you are a person of faith, and I am, you want to pray in the morning. You want to pray for your day. You want to pray for your mood. You want to pray that you have safe travels and that no hurt or harm comes your way. You want to pray that when you return to your home, that everything is in order. When you set up your day in a positive way, you are more likely to have a good day. Have you ever heard someone that may say, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed? Well, they're basically talking about waking up and just not feeling good, and then that sets up their whole day to almost be miserable. So you don't want to do that. You want to set up your day for success. You want to plan to have a good day. You want to make sure you've packed a lunch or you have an idea of what you're going to eat on that particular day. Because there are several things that people who suffer with mental illness need to be more cognizant of. For example, for everyone, drinking water consistently is very important. And those who suffer with the mental illness oftentimes are either sleep deprived and they can't get good sleep, or they sleep too much. They may be very hungry or they're not hungry at all. And so when that happens, in terms of you not being hungry, you have to have sustenance in order for your brain to function, because your brain is going to definitely affect your mood. So just you not eating in the morning and waiting till the afternoon to eat, that affects your mood. So you have to figure out what you're going to eat and make sure that you're eating healthy. The other thing that you want to make sure you do is, if you know that there are people who push your buttons at your office, or people who just don't have your best interest at heart, you really need to be mindful to not interact with those people as much. It's okay for you to have a casual, brief conversation with them, but do not allow them to enter your space, because that negativity is going to affect you more so than it affects them. Because if they're a negative person, then that's just who they are. And you need to stay away from people that don't bring you joy and happiness. because your happiness is vital to your survival. So you really have to be your own advocate when you are trying to keep your mental health episodes at an all-time low. For those of you who have friends who suffer with the mental illness, they need you. They need to know you care. They need to know you're trying to understand them better. And they need to know that when they're feeling down, you just won't disregard them. Remember that they're suffering from a disease. It's a condition that they didn't ask for. It's a condition that millions of people across this world suffer from. And if they take medication, there shouldn't be a stigma associated with it. If you have a heart disease, if you have some other situation that requires you to take medication, you have diabetes, whatever it might be, taking medication for depression is no different. Taking medication for depression means that you have recognized and acknowledged the fact that you need something else to help you get through life. It's very simple. And myself, I was very reluctant to take medication, and I felt that it was something that meant that I couldn't handle my own issues and that I needed something else in order to make me feel better. And it doesn't matter, because many people who suffer from a mental health condition lack serotonin in their brain. And the medication helps to offset that, and that's why it's prescribed. So if you are considering taking medication, I would advise you to give it a chance. So remember to set your day up for success and to set your day up to be a great day. I'll come back with some more information in a few minutes. All right, I'm back. We've been talking about 50 ways to live free from anxiety. So we are on numbers 21 through 30. Number 21, you have more going for you than you give yourself credit for. You are talented, you're special, and don't forget that. Remember that you were created in God's image and everything about you is good. Number 22, life is really up to you. It's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to set out to achieve goals or allow other people to tell you that you can't do it. It's up to you. Sometimes you shouldn't share with people what your plans are, because then they tell you all the reasons that you shouldn't do it. So keep it to yourself and just keep chipping away at it every single day. Number 23, you are worthy. You are worthy to be successful. You are worthy to have the desires of your heart. Do not let what has happened to you in the past dictate your future, because it doesn't have to. Move forward and replace any negative situations with something positive. Number 24, don't allow people to tell you that you need to make a change. It's up to you to decide your own life and your own path. So don't go down a path that someone else wants you to go down just because. Follow your own path and follow your own heart and your own desires. Number 24, Life is not always fair. The things that we should receive, a promotion, an A on a paper, an award at school, we don't always get it. But we have to be mindful not to be bitter and upset and angry, because your time will come, and it'll be the right time, and it'll be more than you could ever possibly imagine. Number 25. You must remind yourself that you are the best person to decide what you should do with your life. It's up to you to figure out a plan, to figure out the steps, and take action. Because only you can live your best life. No one else can live your life for you, because no one else is you. You can make it happen all by yourself. Step out on faith. Number 25. Remember that failure doesn't always mean that you're not going to succeed. Oftentimes, we have to fail several times before we can achieve success. So don't think of failure as something so negative. Think of it as a learning situation, a step in the right direction, and you keep going and you keep going and you move forward. Number 26. Tell someone you appreciate them once per week. One of the best characteristics of a good leader or supervisor is acknowledging your staff. So tell someone every week how much you appreciate the work that they do, their contribution to the organization. Tell them, job well done. I appreciate your hard work on this project. Everyone wants to feel appreciated and acknowledged for the hard work that they do. Number 27, self-doubt stifles growth and development. All of us experience different challenges and adversities in our life. And so we all have self-doubt. But if we don't at least try to accomplish our goals by setting small increments and steps, we'll never know how far we can possibly go. So you never want to give up short of completing whatever it is that you desire, because we all have self-doubt, but that self-doubt can turn into self-awareness, and it can actually catapult you on your way to major success. Don't give up. Number 28. The moment you begin to put one step toward your goals, you are closer to success. You don't have to have the whole plan put together. Just start at the beginning and build momentum. And when you put one step forward and then the next step and the next, you will begin to see the reality of your dream. So go out there and begin today. Number 28. God is working in the background to fulfill your desires. Let Him know you are ready to receive. Do you know that God is waiting for us to ask Him for His assistance? He can't really do anything for us until we begin to ask. So ask for what you desire and ask God to order your steps. And He will do just that, and you will start to see the beginning of your success.
Number 29, say no and mean it without a guilt trip. Oftentimes people ask us to do things for them that we know we shouldn't do, that we know it is codependent behavior. But we are compelled to do it anyway because of a guilt trip that's placed on us. But once you begin to say no, it'll become easier and easier. So go ahead and say no and not feel bad about it. Number 30. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. In our lives, there's so much that we face on a daily basis. Adversity, challenges, things going one way when we thought they'd go another way. But every setback that you encounter is setting you up for a comeback. So don't get fixated on whatever that setback is. Be ready and willing to move forward, and you will get ahead. I never want to end my podcast without first thanking you so very much for listening. Remember, giving up is never an option. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tamara Trotter. You can also find me on Pinterest at TT Mental Health Expert. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Depression and Courage. You can also donate to my Patreon account. That's Patreon, Patreon, at Tamara Trotter. As little as $3 per month will help me move this worthwhile work forward and help me to promote mental health wellness across the country. Visit my website at throughtheeyesofdepression.org, where I have personalized cards for someone who suffers from depression so that you can let them know that you're thinking of them. And I also have my ebook, Overcoming Depression Through the Marvelous Light. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next podcast.